Why? What is it?
It's an epic.
Okay.
What? It is literally the hardest pickaxe to get in the game. Yet the only legendary pickaxe is Predator's pickaxe. One of the easiest to get. What? How is Predator so special?
Games like that. If they keep getting the Rift Island for free, it's going to be absolute chaos for everybody in the lobby.
It's just one weakness, and that's kind of our spot. It's not even a weakness even. It's just unpredictability. And if that's the case, this is one of the strongest duels on the scene.
I'm very, very excited to see Jacobs and the Stallions. How far have they risen now? After having such a good game, after 2 bad ones to start the day, let's send it to the analysts to break it down.
Woo, so much to talk about. I mean, packing a punch with the pulse rifle, that's exactly what happened. Breaking the elimination record this season as well. I mean, Thomas and Malabuka delivering the goods for us there. 13 eliminations. What an incredible victory royale, Mini. So great to witness that.
That's the power of the pulse rifle. That's the power of taking big risks. And that's exactly what this duo are all about. If you watch any of their games so far this season, when they have been contested, they have had some issues off spawn. But when they make it off spawn, when they have those pulse rifles in hand, when your name is Thomas HD, can't miss.
But that's the power of Thomas HD. He's just bop, 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 elim after elim after elim. Almost double-digit elims just for Thomas HD. You can see here, he does not miss a single shot with the pulse rifle in Thomas and Malabuka's hands. I mean, the whole lobby, Levin and Shia were saying it, like they're in danger.
Yeah, they are. Thomas has eaten a good breakfast this morning. I think he's really feeling good. And so is Malabuka as well, leading the way up on high ground right there. No duo had a chance. No one even had a chance. Right here. I mean, look at that. It's just shut down completely. Absolutely incredible. And the way that Thomas closed this out was absolutely smooth.
Yeah, we can see, I mean, Thomas has had his eggs and seconds and thirds. Lots of breakfast going down here. Amazing scenes there. We can see they are such a dominant force here, dominating the skies. Let's have a look and see exactly how this affects the leaderboard here as well. We can see here, Vanya and Kami, 202 points here. But in second place, Queasy and Vino consistently managing to get points on the board against Carter. I mean, we've talked about them so much. We've talked about them, but there's every reason to because they are just that good.
Look, they're doing what you need to do to take home an FNCS Grand Finals. We said it before, if I had to bank on a duo taking it home, it's going to be Queasy and Vino in the second place spot with 187 points. They are en route to doing exactly that.
But that was a bad game for them. That just shows how good they've been in the first 2 games because they're still on the top. That was a really poor game from them, particularly when it got to that end game. They actually run out of materials. They actually run out of steam. We saw, of course, Venno taking out Juriki early on in this game. They actually had a really nice, favorable 7th zone to actually pull towards them. But that 8th zone was really where it got a little bit difficult. They had to expend a lot of materials going into this end game. And we saw them fragging out on low ground, trying to make something happen. And ultimately, it was the storm that took them both out. It's a really difficult situation.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looked like Queasy, you could see there, he kind of got blocked by Vino when he used his kinetic blade, and got eliminated by the storm. So, you know, it happens, a little unfortunate, but they're still in second place, so they can't really be mad at them.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the first place team right now as well, with 202 points, courtesy of 18 eliminations, 130 placing points. Vanek and Kami, I mean, this duo, you know, after 3 games, in a great position right now. They're kind of atop the leaderboard. A great game 3 for them.
Yeah, I mean, they did exactly what they had to. You can see them getting tags when they need to, being positioned in the zone quicker than their opponents, so they can look back, get that damage, get that storm surge, and not have to worry about it later on.
Yeah, because of course we saw Blatcher and Mixon going down earlier, our previous first place team. This has opened the floodgates wide open for Kami and Vanyak, and if you can take advantage of those situations, it's really what separates our top teams from maybe our middle ground teams, because they did it, and they did it with fun.
Yeah, they certainly did. You can even see here, I mean, Malabuka and Thomas HD, they're currently in 10th position, up 40 places in one game. That is how things change here in Grand Finals. It can happen in a heartbeat. One of the great things, of course, about to get a chance to chat to some brilliant people in the community as well, and someone who is a familiar face to FNCS right now. We're joined by the almighty Reddish right now. It is so good to see you, Reddish. How are you? You're watching Grand Finals. What's the experience been like for you over the first 3 games? How are you enjoying it so far? I don't know if she can hear me right now, but hopefully any second now she can.
I can
Technical difficulties will come to Reddish in a second time. Hold you now. Oh, we're on there. Okay, hey, Reddish. Hi. I'm there going, really, it's amazing to see you. And I thought you were just blanking me. I thought you were blanking me, and that was it. I was getting a bit worried there. But Reddish,
I can hear you.
it's so good to see you. How's Grand Finals been for you so far?
I mean, Malibuca just won, so I'm very happy.
I love that. Of
I'm
course,
so happy.
of course, you played with Malibuca a lot as well in some of the tournaments that you played in. What's that like? Give us a little insight. What's it like to play with a Tier 1 pro like Malibuca?
It's great. I even hosted my own tournament and I made it co-ed so that I can play with the pro player and experience that again. I think it's amazing for us as creators to play with pro players because we have a lot to learn and we get to discover a different side of them, I would say, like their personality, and I don't know, it's amazing to feel like you can keep up with them too.
You love those collaborations, and you said there's a lot you learned. So I actually want to know, what's something that maybe you've learned from Malibuca or generally just from watching FNCS?
One very important thing I learned from Malibuca is that you can actually jinx a team. Like that's very real. Like we were super hyped because someone who surprise contested us, and I was so hyped and super cheerful. We also got a cash right next to us, and then things went downhill. Like we got Acorn 1v2ing us just because we kept going on and on about that. We were super hyped, and he explained that jinxing is real, and you have to be happy like 1-2 seconds in the moment, but then focus up. So that's one thing I'll always remember.
You heard it right there, folks. The jinx is indeed real. We're so hyped to have you here. Where can we find you online on social media?
My name is Reddish, so Reddish everywhere.
Reddish is right there. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of finals.
Thank you, and GXR on top.
Great to talk to everybody in the community. I love that. Reddish, what a legend. Great, yeah, really great to see. Interesting as well. I mean, great question as well, finding out how how the pros are doing the call-outs, because everything happens in such a quick time, such a small moment there. You have to make those calls and make them clear and concise. Interesting to hear that from her.
Yeah, definitely. Even jinxing. I mean, I hope that Thomas and Malibuca wouldn't jinx themselves. Knowing Thomas, he won't be happy with 10s. They want to go for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, there you heard it right. I mean, there we go. We're rapidly going through the grand finals here right now. We're hearing news that the battle bus is ready to rock and roll. What will happen in the next game? It's time to find that. It's back over to Shio at 11-2.
Are you watching this then?
The fourth game of the day is upon us. We've already seen so much take place all across these 3 games so far, and hearing this fourth one, I can't wait to see which team steps up next.
Yeah, the best part about EU today is that there is no pattern really on who just ends up winning these games back to back to back. It's more so a fresh face to see every time, more power from some of the best teams in the EU.
I think the best thing though is that each fresh face is one that we're familiar with, right? One that we know has the ability to come out and win multiple games, and we'll see if we can do that here again. Game number 4 is ready. Let's hop right in. The players on the battle bus, ready to try and fight out. Will the winners of game 3, Shio, get a chance to even play the game again is my question.
I mean, jumping 40 places from game 2 to game 3, Thomas and Malibuca, you can see the inconsistency of the day. It's all on this off-spawn fight. Swizzy and Shimoki as well, being able to change their fates and play that game 3, making some difference. A lot of the teams in these end games in terms of Surge. Codifying Snazy also in a little bit of trouble because they didn't have their guaranteed 200 damage to play with. So everything's starting to change a lot faster in EU this major. These are some of the fastest adjustments we've seen in, I would say, just the history of MCS itself across all chapters. And Thomas and Malibuca landed once again one of the hottest fights to see. It changes the entirety of how the day looks like. And they don't like to be in a power position like last time. Get the truck as well, so they have so much shield to work with. Malibuca has position, but he needs to land these shots. Another one sky high, he's focused, but two Suzuki alive like this. That'd be over for Thomas too. This is just absolute tough scenes. This is lower. Thomas is up close. Wrap it up though. This will not be a game that we see the powerhouse duo shut their step once more in EU.
These guys are even getting third party themselves. Who's that? Is Backbling going for their knees? Well, these guys doing it. Everybody wants to get in on the fight.
They're saying, listen, if Thomas and Malibuca are allowed to play the way they like to, maybe it's about time for us to look like we're in tip-top form as well. Change landing positions, calibrating, and instantly they're up for the charge, for the chance. That means finding twos. Trick, you can't get away. You will be hunted too.
This is very tough. Very tough. Because you go up 40 places, you finally get a chance to play a game, and then bam, momentum locked off once more. Right now they have to sit and just wait for another half an hour almost. It's not an easy thing to do at all.
And the way racetrack is set up, there's no way to disengage really and even have a substandard game. I mean, the only people we're seeing on the map who got kind of interrupted at their spot, were contested, and then changed their fates are on your screens right now. Shimoki and Swizzy, and even then, Photoscience and Nazy do not want to let them go. They want things to be just as they were in that game number 1. They want this team to go down. That's exactly what Photoscience trying to force right now. One big shot, but has to follow through with a few more. They have so many maps, so this fight should go on and actually have, I think, a decided victory.
Because they want to take the lead, there's a good chance the lead's going to be taken. So they're just going to keep playing on the aggressive, playing on the front foot.
Oh man, photo side, angle huge, going for the beam. Few misses will prolong this fight. We're down to no match from Shimoki and Swizzy. About to see an all-in, and Photoside's by himself, so this might be the best chance. Snazy going back to maybe find a few mats or be in an advantage position. 3 mats left for Photoside, so he has to do something here. Just 2 more left now. Ooh. Big shot, I like that. Another one.
I love the way he flipped the ramp there, created his own little angle, jumps up, hits the shot as well. That's really nicely done from 2, again, very experienced players in this region. Showing you how it's done. Dell and Pixie contested here at Breakwater Bay, and they found success contested last major. Up here right now against Aston Slovey. These guys are very difficult players to fight against, so they'll make it a very tough battle. But if anyone's going to win a battle at Breakwater Bay, you'd think it's Pixie and Della.
They're looking for angles, even when they're caught off guard. Della, with his movement, forces the shot miss from Asta, but the second one, this man does not make a mistake twice. He's looking to wrap it all up. The tracking through the box is huge. The fact is still alive from the other side. And twice! Asta is just too fast for him. Now he's going to be playing support. Nope. This is actually winning a bit, and he's a front man once more. Huge for Asta. Up top. And now he ended it on. And that's Pixie with the top back.
Hold on, wait a minute, it's not done just yet. With the way Asa was moving, I thought it'd be an easy clean-up.
Della's still alive. He can get it.
Yeah, the revive can keep coming through, so Pixie and Della might still be in this. Ube running up, but quickly running back down. What a shot from Pixie, and he might just close it out here. The Storm might finish the job. It doesn't feel like he's going to be, can he splash him? No! Doesn't pick up the splashes in time, but it's fine because he'll get the reboot card and he'll be able to reboot Della. But still to win that fight, he wants to Pixie and Della come out on top.
It's textbook pyramid edit from Pixie as well. A lot of the time, you just have that pyramid in your box, able to get it up to be a ramp almost. You block one shot, we edited it down. Easy shot to hit. Nice bait and switch. And yeah, it might not be perfect, but that was great from Pixie overall. Dennis and Reason getting their game started too on that replay. Man, what a hot start to this game. Once again, it's still different. It's not the same fights we've been watching for the first 3 games. New contestants, new decisions by players in every single POI. I mean, there's a Bevies and a Pablo really loose in the middle of the map. If you find them, please call me, let me know, because we need to get them contained. Things on EU. The fact that Cleveland made last game last
How feeding they are to the meta and how to play the game. Juriki and Predoxy, a team that maybe can't necessarily say the same, right? I spoke to Juriki, he said he wasn't confident, right, coming into the finals. He himself knows he hasn't done enough preparation, hasn't been working hard enough this season, but he's hoping that the work put in over the past week will be enough to just push them over the line. And even though it's been a slow start, Shio, things are never over when you have mythic shotguns in hand, because they control the vote here at Mega City.
One good thing they'll have going for them, no matter what the preparation looks like, they'll have 6 games to watch back at the end of the one of the most important things in between the days. Didn't buy them too much for them on the day. Snow side. The teams are making things so difficult. Rush Guard and Hellfire. Levin, you were talking about the way they made decisions. Wrong decision or unfortunate zone bounce back. That eliminated. This time, Strong wants it back. What are we doing here? Oh no, this one is so dumb! Oh!
Grand final. Great game.
That's like the biggest fear sometimes that you kind of disregard as a player too when you're kinetic blading. I won't build behind me. There's no way. Someone's gonna have to land like 4 body shots and a headshot while I fly. Who's capable of that?
Never think it happens. Never think it happens.
Could happen to me.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen to you. You're just that guy, so it's a bit different. Then Lush not having to worry about Kyber and Artis. I believe they've taken them out. I'm just guessing that's the 2 eliminations to their name. I've seen that quite a couple of times. 13 seconds. I drop and Matt Nada right now not fighting in the Anvil Square, fighting just at the gas station outside of it.
Tiger's not my thing if you're on the last a long time. A lot more teams will fly by. He's been able to go back to that racetrack. He's in zone, so might have a chance. Unfortunate thing though, so many people are going to be basing around you. I think that reboot might not be a possibility here in game 4.
Glove sheet and cheating in the zone at Brutal Bastion, and we have Mini Miner here to fill us in on what's going on at Brutal. What is he doing in the zone?
We haven't really seen too much from Brutal Bastion so far, but Logi and cheating that are actually managing to pick up this ball almost every single time. The team is going to aggressive, so hopefully they can use the mythic later on.
Thank you so much, Mini Miner. You know what's better than the legendary pump? A mythic pump. That's exactly what these guys have. When he's right, and hopefully that power will pack a punch towards the end of the game. Vidil Savage, a little bit of rocky start to the first half of games of day 1. Seemed to make it towards the end of the game, but they're antisocial level. They're not interacting with anyone. They're not getting any shots off. We can't have that in EU. You have to be talking. You have to be shooting. You have to get that damage.
Where they're playing from right now in Naughty Nets, it's such a difficult area to get surge, right? Like you have to have. For a moment, I thought default's cam was off. I was like, why are we even showing this? He's playing in the dark. He literally, when nothing's happening on the screen, he's just in the dark. Fair enough. Everybody likes to play their own way, right?
Focused in, no distraction.
I don't even know what I'm talking about now. I just completely lost my train of thought.
Talking about Naughty Nets, Mr. Savage.
Yeah. Tough place, tough area to get surge from. They're gonna have to put in a lot of work. Because when those two get to end game, really strong together. They can get to end game together really, really strong. I've loved what I've seen from Mr. Savage in IGL this season. I think he's improved so much. But they need to get there, and they're struggling to get there consistently.
They have like no options at all, right? It's not like Eurus and Howley and Chari have so many teams to fight. Going back and forth right now. Nice shot from Chari. Make the most of what you have. Oh, they're actually coming right back down for this fight. Jay and Cosmo are having that one. You're not going to shoot me while I fly away.
Jay and Cosmo taking a fight in stall. Surprises? Are you surprised?
Same old. I'm not surprised.
Same old.
Yeah.
Same old. But is this a fight they'll win? Geralt is bleeding out right now, and so it definitely gives them the upper hand. I don't think they'll go for the loot just yet. They're gonna look for the other player.
Yeah. Blue lined it in. They're both just, okay, Cosmo's making sure that there's no third party waiting for him. Jay's lagging behind him, maybe trying to find that loot.
I think he was scouting out for Charlie, right?
Oh,
They're not quite sure where Charlie is. He is just sort of hiding in the zone. They assumed he white lined it straight to the zone, but he didn't. He's still off in the zone, and now Jay has found him, and so they'll start to push him. Not satisfied with just picking up Giras. They want Chari down as well.
I would assume it was 4 points. You're maxed on materials overall. You could probably get a lot more value from keeping this duo alive. Tags over time, right? Especially if you can dominate them like this and make sure they're completely restricted from excess materials and whatnot. But this at least guarantees points. So if placements is something that's, you know, not guaranteed and troublesome, getting a guarantee of points might be the wave still. I feel like just being in zone, having control is the best possible thing to do. Now Jay and Cosmo will have to go right into gold. That's not gonna be the wave. Flixie and Gregby, sky high. When we found Pablo Wingo and Bevies, we contained them in a box. They're no longer running around. They also have a sky base in Mega City.
I think the thing for Jay and Cosmo is that they're used to fighting us for having a lot of early surge, and so when they don't have that, they're trying to, you know, be very desperate in terms of how they get there. Jay, so Flixie and Greiby, sorry, over here at Mega City. This is going to be one of the better zones for Mega City, where there's just going to be so many opportunities to take shots at players like that. Again, the problem comes down to, are you really going to be able to, you know, like, there'll be opportunities. There's going to be players rotating in this area, but players are much more alert in the finals, at least you think. Irizumi and Syned over here at the Rift Island. It's funny because Malabuka tweeted after their win, stay away from the Rift Island. Syned and Irizumi like, yeah, I don't know about all that, guys. We're still going to make our way there.
Are y'all in this game? No? Okay.
All right.
Mile in now.
Hello?
We go.
Guys?
Seems like to be a huge win condition for them because, yeah, it's also so cool to see how different those two teams use it. Thomas is obviously a little bit more towards the sky. Irizumi box to box. Queasy Vino in a late Kenjutsu fight. And this is not for a cash. This is not for positioning really at all because the zone's about to move. They just feel like fighting.
Well, fortunately, they ain't got moved. The zone pulls perfectly
wow.
on them
Okay,
again,
never
right?
mind.
They ain't really
I'm
got
sorry.
moved. You clearly don't have the zone. So
I wasn't familiar with your game. I have to apologize.
Yeah. It's all good, bro. But look, Darky and Drayson are contesting these guys and making it, you know, really sort of difficult for them in terms of cutting off loot, just sort of disrupting their regular plan. And I know these guys have spent all week planning and really, you know, trying to figure out the finer details of this general area based off of the teams they knew were going to be around them. And so to see them still doing well, even with, you know, that sort of spanner thrown into the works where a team's just landing on you now that you weren't, you know, prepared for, it's, again, a big testament to why these guys are some of the best players in the world. They can adapt in the highest of stakes situations.
If you don't even believe what Levin's saying and you don't want to take opinion of sorts in the facts or into account, you can just look at the way they are on the leaderboards, right? In their worst games, still getting top 4 in that specific game, still alive in the 10th zone. He's absolutely right. These guys are, I would say, the best in the lobby at turning the worst of situations, the biggest of surprises, into the best of circumstances.
Yeah, for Bacon and Ski. Not going to be the kind of game they could play last time around where they just base up in their area and look for easy tags.
I mean, it might be just at least the first part of the game going exactly that way and helping them for the rest of it. 380 damage above Surge. I don't see many teams coming out of Brutal with that much of a pattern to play with.
I think the big thing here, right, is that they have been fighting. They've been active.
Yeah.
Now, as they make their way into zone, right, it's all about picking good spots as you get in. They're going to rotate in towards the congested side. Maybe they'll look to avoid that, not go for the white line. Choose some Putrick, find themselves picking up some limbs. Need to be careful as well because they are deep in the zone.
Oh, they pick up Glubshy. We're looking at them with the mythic pumps, and that's going to look so good. And that power translates over to some Putrick. That's crazy. I mean, in terms of how this fight ended up dropping this far, this hard, it's tough for the team. Seems like Glubshy had everything set and ready to go. But now that racetrack team will have another game to play. Chicky and Trulex, I'm liking these guys today in terms of consistency. Every time we tune in with them, I think the highest on Surge overall, and they're adaptively picking very good spots in every zone. It's not just the big vertical tower. It's at top of Slappy or in the mid kind of ground of many big complexes that get built. It's really, really good.
Yeah, this is clearly a team that has thought well and hard about how they were going to play Surge in this lobby, and it is paying off. It is working out as good as it really can get, because like you said, they are consistently making it through the mid game without much worries. It's just about making things click once they get to end game.
Yeah, that's the issue. Maybe they have a bit too much padding, not that much pressure. In some of these games,
They have that little team of freaking podfaces up there. Oh my god!
That should change very, very soon. Cosmo J, easy slide in. Everyone rotating to Mega City. You can see how easy it is to find cover over here. So, not many people will go down, but as a result, some of these teams were very down bad on Surge, might not have a chance to actually find much. Jay taking a little bit of damage, so a pit stop will have to be made. They'll go straight up. Probably weren't even planning for this, but let's see what Cosmo can find.
Yeah, and it might just work out better for them in terms of just having a higher position to kinetic blade from. Maybe get a bit more distance on their rotation.
Oh, look at where they have to land, though. Completely aquatic. And they're going to be forced into the water here, next to the pier, next to Jury and Ferdoxy, which I personally, not someone I want to box aside, because that's a fight waiting to happen.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You're seeing what happens, right? When you sort of land in these positions, just by the water, the team's elevated, sitting higher above in the land. They're just going to sit there and take shots at you. They know you're in an uncomfortable spot. Anchor and Gold barely moving out of the way of Hellfire and Rest Guard, but they're still going to keep applying that pressure.
They're trying to make the most of the situation, because after this, they're not going to be able to interact with anyone really from this point on. Look at the rotation the entire lobby has to make, most of which, as we can see right now, you can see the lightning strikes. Every time you see one, that's a duo that's down on Surge. Vaniac and Kami too. Once again, lobby leaders, 200 points, they're in first place. Issues with Storm Surge.
And in games where, Shai, we've already seen these teams struggling to hold onto their mats deep into the game, this is going to be one of the most taxing games on your materials there is.
This is a triple overlap Venn diagram. On one water, your mats cut in half. On the other side, you have to rotate with 20 teams. Your mats cut in half. And on the other side, there's 12 zones to play with, Levin. Your mats cut in half again. That's 3 halves. That doesn't mathematically equate.
No mats.
No mats.
And we're going to see it. A team here, Anyak and Kami, have been so impressive, leading the way in this lobby. Again, making a tough rotation, having to tank a bunch of damage, and he has the shields to deal with it, but he's slowly running out of the materials. Like you said, mats cut in half. Twice,
and now he has to also deal with Surge, the 4th half, and he's trying to find it, but then playing defense on that, going for these Surge battles, yeah, it costs you ammo, yeah, it costs you a little bit of damage, it also costs you mats.
And slowing down and having to stop here for just a couple of moments is going to give time for all those teams now, from that side he was just on, to now start rotating on top of his head. He needs to start moving quickly.
Tsunami of players, and you can see the pressure getting to him. Vanyak missed edit, and now that costs him half his mats.
Doesn't have any room. Literally no room for error here. Where's he gonna land?
What?
This is gonna be so tough.
It's Reason and Janice. Okay, I mean, this is an okay position. Stuck right beside a rock, but everyone has to rotate into you, so I guess Cammy and Seti are looking to beam other players. No one's focusing on your box. I'm just worried about
the natural rotation for him to make there now would be with that kinetic blade, but he doesn't have mats to work with. So yeah. I don't know where he lands. He's gonna have to just try landing some of the boxes, I guess. Something crazy is gonna happen with him. Cammy and Seti, though, in a similar area to him, but they have much more to work with. Kinetic blades with 3 charges will mean that they can safely get to the next zone. And the materials as well. He's down on
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Can you actually hear me? Schwartz, can you hear me? All I need to do is do this for 15 minutes. Would you like to let me see real quick? Oh, you're on Xbox?
Because once again, it doesn't look like they're in the same game. Do you feel a sense of pressure?
Right now, for them, no.
A sense of urgency?
No.
Any trouble, Surge?
Not one bit.
Oh.
Hello?
Have mats. That's one of the best things for rifles. These are also working well against people below them, even when they don't even exist. And
Yeah, I can hear you.
He's gone.
We know how powerful they are. So many great solo moments from him this season. We might put that some heat to do. Facing their stash though, still alive, haven't quite hit the heights of their game one win. Leading their way through the zone and ahead of all the other teams.
Oh, I see he's rising above. You can kind of see his fin like a shark above water, going for high grounds. Not really collapsing on it just yet. This will be up against Irizumi, against double pulse rifles. It will be tough. Minimum of a deal. Really good solo clutch in the making. Has that slow kick at the spot a little bit closer to that low ground. Check Sky, they're going to be pressuring him. They're going to go all in for that box. It's going to be very tough for him to live. Vidil on the bottom side. Flicks is going up towards the Sky too. Vino looking to actually claim it and hold it. Is anyone else going to challenge this?
So difficult with it going over the water. They needed to start pulling towards the islands.
Not an option for Cammy instead yet, which means basically no points to accumulate in terms of eliminations. Reese and Janice kind of in that. Map down low, bounce back. How does that look in this claustrophobic layer? On all sides, mats are dwindling, running low. The corners of your screen turning dark. You're not sure exactly where to shoot. No one's making the first edit. No one's going down just yet. You have to force something. Spray on the walls. Matt looks for it, but can't find anything.
The zone just pulled far, and it's pulling far again. These guys are going to have to make the...
Bro, there's only 5 people left. There are 5 people left. Oh!
Idol will try and respond, but he's no match. Mixing and Blackshot have it easily. Vino
Oh
now
my god,
dropping
do you
down.
see
He
that
wants to close
person
out
up
the
there?
game.
Do you see
He
that
doesn't even
person
want to
up
give
there?
them a chance to breathe
He's
and
in the
realize it's a
sky.
2v2. He drops down, picks up one, looks for the other, and it's done. Queasy and Vino, another victory for this team.
A spear with a sharp head in front of it. This duo is unstoppable, unreachable, and absolutely lethal inside the first day of EU.
In a game where so...
V2s, everything's going to plan. nothing can stop him.
And look, we were talking about how earlier Queasy's probably falling asleep on height. He most definitely is. Because earlier in the season, he would have at least had to heal off, right? You know, try play for the heal off, run back in his zone, have to actually do something. Now he can just sit there and watch as Vino picks up audio limbs down below.
So whether it's comedy, action, suspense, you can give a tag for this duel because we can't really figure it out. Are they sleeping? Are they awake? We know they're great. What do Adam and the analysts think? Because that's a nuts game.
Absolutely nuts. I mean, Queasy and Vino again, victory royale here. I mean,
use his own eyesight, and it became a situation of stay alert, stay alive for everybody aside from those two.
Look, I'm getting a little sense of deja vu, right? We've seen this today. We've seen Queasy and Vino dominate that high ground from the 1 versus 2 down below to Queasy, you know, up in the clouds, kind of looking down. Oh, Vino just took out 2 opponents, just got us the VR, you know, I'll take it.
absolutely right. I mean, this team right now, we love to kind of share with you guys at home how much we get excited about these particular duos and who we think is going to go the way. But it really is a case now of everything they've done up until this point, and the experiences they've had. It all comes together, the combination, everything. We're seeing it in front of our very eyes here. Why they are so good, but they're able to move with everything that's thrown in front of them. They're an unstoppable force, Taco.
Again, it's just the awareness level, really, that this duo chooses to consistently maintain throughout the entirety of a single lobby, because it doesn't matter who might actually be trying to prioritize height. At some point, if Queasy and Veno are still up, they're going to chop you down, and they're going to just siege it by force.
Look, they make it happen, right? They can get the job done. I'm looking forward to see if maybe we can get a Thomas HD off spawn again and have them go up against Queasy Vino in the late game, but they're gonna have to get off the start for that.
Yeah, I think we all love to see that. But what we're excited to see here as well is currently how the leaderboard stands as well. Let's take a look at this. The standings right now, and there they are atop the rest of the pack here in Grand Finals after the game from before here. Queasy and Vino with 280 points, 20 eliminations, 200 placement points. I mean, they are way out in front here, Taka.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, having 2 victory royales is really starting to become more of a separating factor. Those eliminations might be worth 4 points a pop, but if you can just keep collecting more and more game one.
Someone you want to sleep on. And mix in here, you can see 4 eliminations already. Bumping it. Did ultimately end with the Veno 1 versus 2. At least they got that 2nd place and a good amount of eliminations that bumped them up to that 2nd place spot on the leaderboard.
They're basically over at Meadow Mansion. It's been and so seeing Blacha and Mixon find that success, I think, stems back to the fact they've got their damage early.
Yeah, they really have. They've bumped up 3 points to 3 positions now into 2nd. Let's look at the rest of the leaderboard here as well. We can see now as well, Cami and Seti, there they are, sat in 7th position right now. 8 eliminations, 170 placements. They are putting themselves in contention. They're managing to stay in there. May not have a victory royale just yet, Takata, but they're managing to get in there, at least put themselves up for consideration when it comes to Grand Finals and the Action Champions.
Right, it's not a bad place to be in, right? Being in the top 10, being in the 7th place spot, they're kind of one big game away from bumping themselves up to that top 3 or even, you know, 2nd, 1st place on the leaderboard. We saw what Thomas HD and Malabuka were capable of when they got a big, impactful match. So if Cami and Seti can keep up the consistency and then get one big game, you know, they'll make their way up that leaderboard.
I mean, I think Seti and Cami are probably the embodiment of slow and steady wins the race, because how many times have we seen them in this position where they're not necessarily in that top 5 just yet, but it only takes 1 or 2 games to actually catapult yourself into that position, and it's proven already by how far they've climbed as is.
It really is. It's exciting. It's 4 games down, 2 to go today. But one thing we often talk about here on the show is Storm Surge. For newer players as well, they want to get to know exactly what's going on here. But Storm Surge, look at this. The likes of Shea like a superhero. Full control right now. Storm Surge, a massive factor in this. And for those who might want to know more about it, how has it been?
Watching the FNCSs. I don't know what they are. They're like pro players on Fortnite, all against each other.